And welcome back to the IWAR Network Tubecast. I'm your host, Alex G. And with me this evening, we have Matt and Jeff. What's
Johnny
going on?
Sins.
What's going on tonight, gentlemen?
Well, this is the delayed show, so we had a vacation and work and everything. So
I'm working like a dog, trying to get that paper.
gotta catch that bread.
Cheddar.
If you guys notice on the, the bottom right hand on the side of the screen there, next to the I Dig That logo, that is a scene from the glorious bungee jump match from the Global Wrestling Federation.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's dope. You can't really see it that well, but
Who's in that?
Chaz. Somebody
Chaz.
else. Remember Chaz? Chaz Taylor?
No.
I think Chaz Taylor was in that match. I forget.
Oh.
Dark Patriot? I don't know.
If it wasn't Eric Embry, did it really happen?
Doesn't count. Where is Doug Gilbert? Is the real question.
Oh, he's dead, isn't he?
No, that's Eddie Gilbert.
No, I think Doug Gilbert's dead too. I put two bullets in him.
Son of a bitch.
So.
I like Doug Gilbert. He was good. He was in the 1995 Royal Rumble.
We lost a viewer. They were offended by the Doug Gilbert assassination. I just want to say, I hope one day when it comes my time to leave the IWA, I want to write a letter that's like a full page IWA, homepage letter that is like somehow the same vibe as Antonio Brown's Instagram letter the other day. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Oh, it's awesome. Somebody on TikTok was doing it as a dramatic presentation. And I
Doesn't
always
he say like the only regret in my career is not being able to sit in the stands and watch myself?
Yeah, I always think what Jeff said about like if that dude had not been hit in the head by Perfect, what his career would have been like. Oh, poor dude.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah. Someone had a stat line like showing all of his stats up until the point where he got hurt.
Yeah.
And they said just mirror that, and that's like the all-time greatest receiver.
I figured the day I retired from the IWA, I was going to send them an email with just a dick pic inside.
How would they tell it from any other cycle?
They would know. They're going to know.
Whoa. This dick's really in doubt. He must be quitting. He's really excited about it. Oh. I have a friend who, whenever guys send her dick pics, she sends them dick pics in return. Like horrible, inflamed, diseased dick pics. I'm like, oh, she's awesome.
Darren says that would be the shortest email they ever get.
Darren sent it out of the park.
Like
sure to like to subscribe.
It's like a tuna can. It's weird.
Tuna can. I had a friend for years who always just complained that he was like an Advil bottle, trial size. Like,
travel size tube of toothpaste.
Well, do you want to bang out the Q&A first, or
let's get our JB questions out of the way here, or responses actually.
All right, so just an instant additional amount of information here. We were given the numbers for the Ringside Magazine hits.
Oh.
So from October 21 to this past July. So we never went below 163 hits. We topped out in March at 328 hits as a high peak. Most of them were 200, 250s, 272. So it was some good months. I'm guessing March. I think that was like pay-per-view time. I think the WrestleRama and that stuff going on.
Wow.
Well, that's cool. So the special edition magazine, the BRL 30th for IWA 30th.
Yeah.
It's the BRL's 500th. I'm actually in the process of reformatting that. I'm going to redo it so it's more timeless and less like, oh, God, this is 2017. So it's going to be a little more palatable. But that's in the works.
That's fair.
Yeah. So question one. Matt and Alex asked, are the bulletins printed, mailed out before you post the results online? I thought it was a very good question. I think you had that question, actually. Johnny B. Jr. Both events occur simultaneously. We upload the first completed PDF of the day as soon as possible, and while one employee is handling that, another is busy photocopying it to feed to Matt's insatiable banker boxes. That's right. The remaining digital bulletins are posted on our site at the same time as the Federation's final physical versions are being printed and gently coaxed into a big white iconic envelopes that forever shaped so many childhoods. And I always think about that because whenever there's a mistake or like someone like is like, oh wait, they didn't play my matches and we have some kind of change, I'm like, oh, that must piss them off so bad. But they just changed digitally, so not a big deal.
Yep, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Darren via the chat box queried about the number of players who still receive bulletins by snail mail. So Johnny B. Jr., our Go Green initiative has been a great success, and the managers who participated in the program have been instrumental in helping us keep our prices from falling victim to inflation, unlike the product and services from so many of our other companies at the moment. The figures fluctuate a bit, but from one cycle to the next. But over the past 6 cycles, the portion of active players who were truly online only has averaged a little over 39%. Well, I thought that'd be higher.
Me too.
There's still room for improvement, of course, but we appreciate the sacrifice of those who are willing to sell sort of purely digital editions. All of that to say is Matt is hardly exceptional. To clarify, I meant Matt is hardly exceptional with regard to still receiving physical copies of IWA bulletins. And I really thought that'd be like other way around. I thought it'd be 60% doing digital. But
I just wonder what everyone else is doing with their bulletins. Like, I know what you do with them, Matt, but what are some of the other players who get paper bulletins like do with them? I would suggest putting them in leather-bound books.
I know
a library.
A couple of guys put them like in like boxes or folders. And they have them on the shelf. But I always figure I keep them like what I do is I have a box in my bedroom that's like the way station. So I keep them like this year's editions in there, and at the end of the year I pack them up and put them in the various banker boxes. But I keep the current ones out. Like I have the IWL like this cycle stuff right next to me. Next to my little workstation, if you will. But yeah, it's a good question. Like, who out there, that gets paper editions? Some players are off the grid. I say this all the time. I think people never really take me seriously when I say it. Like, there's a lot of players in the game that are not part of our social media platform in any way. Lone Star Redneck's a good example. He's not on the grid. I want to do a quick shout out to before I forget, Mike. I'll say his name, Patalia. Like he's the guy from the BRL runs Punk Rock. Mike. He's in the hospital. He's a leg infection, and he was in there for the infection. And he had a heart attack last Friday.
Oh no.
He's okay because he was in the hospital, so they caught it lickety split. But I wanted to wish him well if he's
Get
listening.
better, dude.
Yeah, Punk Rock Mike's got to be ready for that big challenge at the Autumn Anarchy. I don't want any excuses when I beat you. So I just wanted to say that while I was thinking of it. So yeah. So anyways, getting back to our question, more players absolutely could go green. I'm curious because I always figured players who, players are more focused on the report, and I don't see them saying oh, I really want to have this 3-page copy of the NDL. The MML is really going to be something I want to have a hold of.
TDL.
Yeah, TDL. That's where Luther Alexander's going.
That's true.
Yeah. So.
Pardon me.
Okay, Alex has developed an unhealthy obsession with the erstwhile casting couch league. Johnny B. Sadly, I don't have any juicy details to share about the CCL, but I can tell you that the Steel Federation's Caribbean Coast League opened in the holidays of 2005 cycle and sailed along smoothly for many years, for nearly 4 years, sorry. In the November of 2009 cycle, a player requested that we rename it to the Complete Carnage League. That change was rather short-lived. In the spring cycle of 2010, the CCL devolved into a cesspool that was the Casting Couch League. Young, hopeful wrestlers came from far and wide to try to beat the stuffing out of each other. 3 dirty, sweaty years later, May 2013, witnessed the end of an era. The infamous coach was dragged out to the parking lot and set ablaze in celebration as a CCL grappler, finally winning the IWA World Championship. You should consider inviting his manager to call in and regale your listeners with his favorite memories from the league, paging Dr. Payne, Mark Duchesne. Oh, well, that won't happen. But interesting, just good to know. I think I've mentioned before, my first CCL was the Clawing Cat League. That was my very first league. And that league was ridiculously loaded with talented players. I lucked out big time with that. I asked, did Johnny B have nunchucks? I have to know. And Alex, you said, I feel like he was in a bigger than ninjas. So this is the last answer. Johnny B. Jr. There seemed to be a national explosion of ninja popularity in my youth, with numerous movies and TV shows based on them being...
The Octagon is dope.
What?
Octagon.
Octagon.
You ever seen that movie?
I saw so many ninja movies.
It's Chuck Norris.
So many. I had a neighbor who, like, his parents were divorced, so his dad gave him all the ninja stars, so he had all the ninja weapons. One show was named The Master.
1984, The Master. I just watched that film.
Did you?
I'm insane. I'm insane. I don't know what to tell you.
He put a note here to say, wait for Alex to say racist. Featured a so-called master of ninjutsu and his sidekick who weren't even Asian, let alone Japanese. But perhaps they were trying to convey that anyone could become a ninja with enough training, even a young one, native Ohioan with a black cat named Ninja and a subscription to Ninja Magazine, who dressed up as a ninja for Halloween one year. Yes, I had the requisite nunchucks and became somewhat good at flipping them around. Unfortunately, I wasn't old enough to have access to real thing, so I had to settle for a practice pair coated with foam rubber and a poorly constructed homemade pair I kept hidden from Johnny B. Sr. Always important. The timing of your question was absolute synchronicity. I hadn't watched a ninja-themed movie in many, many years, but on the very day after your previous Results Tubecast, I had experienced a gem from the 80s titled Ninja 3, The Domination.
Yes! Yes! It has the chick from Breaking in it.
Does it? Pause.
Yeah,
Dominatrix. Sorry.
Lucinda Dickey's in that movie, and they do inappropriate things with a bottle of V8, and it's dope.
Good Lord. Ninja 3 is enjoyable essentially the same way as Death Wish 3, but if one is overly concerned with the quality of one's entertainment, I suspect even those who are currently passionate about ninjutsu would find it difficult to rate this particular film higher than 1 out of 5 throwing stars. I will say this when it comes to ninja movies. I said I had friends who were into ninja stuff. My favorite ninja movie, I think, was Ninja 3: The Revenge because of one particular scene. There's this guy being chased by the ninja, and he's like out on this it's in the city, and he's by a water fountain, and the ninja guy is like 10 stories up, and he's like, and he throws a Chinese star or the ninja star, and it's like hits the guy in the eye, and he's like, ah! And then he falls in the water. Now, that many stories up, that's like old school NFL. Remember the quarterback contest? They had to like throw the ball into the target hoops. Like that's beyond crazy difficult. So I always appreciated that ridiculous scene. But then Steve Seagal came along and ruined all the ninja movies.
He did.
Ugh, Steve Seagal. Nico, Gino. Yeah. So that's our Q&A for this episode. It says 140. Are we at 140? Is that our episode number?
Yeah.
We are. Look at that. 140.
He knows.
So I'll preface this. This show was delayed. A couple of reasons was, you were working a lot and I was traveling. I went to Gen Con in Indianapolis, and I did stop in Willowick for a picture to recreate my infamous pose with the Willowick, welcome to Willowick sign. So Willowick is quite a place. There's a couple of places I went by. One was called it was like Sit, Play, and Win or something like that. Or,
you mean Rub and Tug?
Talk. Oh, no, it's not Rub and Tug. But but it was, let me see if I can find the picture here.
I recently, to be honest, guys, went on a virtual tour of Willowick. So I used Google Maps and went on Street View and just started going up and down the streets because I was bored.
I went down some main drag. We got off the highway, and I didn't remember what exit it was that the sign was at. So I was like, well, let's just find anything with Willowick in the name. And we went by some community center that was like Willowick, whatever. So that's good enough. And now, of course, I can't find it. Oh, here it is. This place is called Talk, Play, and Win. I don't even know what it was. It looked like it was closed down, but it was, what the hell is that? Like a casino? What the hell is that?
Talk, Play, and Win.
Talk, Play, Win. And there was also a place. I have a picture of my friend Ted crossing the street because he had to go to the bathroom so bad. So he jumped out of the car and ran across traffic to go to Burger King. That was fun. But we ended up next to. That's the sign. That's the Willowick sign. Of course, I'm wearing my I Dig That shirt because that was important. City of Willowick Service and Building Departments. That's the first place we found with the actual Willowick. And then as we were leaving, we stumbled across the original sign that I went to for 5-10 years ago, whatever it was. So I got an awful picture of me standing there holding the St. Lucia belt because I'm a nerd. But yeah, that was a fun trip. Nobody got the pox while we were in Indianapolis.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, we did get on the way home. It was we left at 3 a.m. So around 6 a.m. or so, we're in Ohio somewhere. and we had to got rerouted. It was a detour, and I swear it was like Jeepers Creepers set. It was just this random cornfields. It was just creepy. I was like, is this real? Are we being like set up to get killed?
Yes.
So there it is. So yeah. So that picture will be actually in this coming edition of the IWAR magazine. So.
Well, I dig that. That's right.
You do.
Does everyone know the genesis of that logo? We're doing a Tubecast one day. When I do Tubecast to keep myself occupied and busy, so I don't fall asleep while doing these. I usually do stuff, right? So I'm usually working on my trash talk, or I'm doing some sort of graphic design or something. And the picture of the kid in that picture is the kid from Small Wonder, who I've mentioned on previous episodes of the show. I hate his face because it's so fucking obnoxious. Like, I shouldn't go around hating little kids, but I hate his face, right? His face, even as a kid, it bothered me, right? And always as a kid, I thought, man, he's fucking that robot, like 100%.
Jeez.
Like, come on now. Like, it's a sex robot. Come on, guys. So,
Well,
I found his face so obnoxious. So, like, I'm looking up the kid's face, and it just makes me laugh. So, I go and I edit it. I do some stuff, and I thought the obnoxious I dig that would be hilarious. And then I actually did it live on the air while I was talking.
I dig that.
There's actually an episode of Small Wonder that has Jesse the Body Ventura in it.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Was he like one of the robots, or?
No, he wasn't a robot. He was like the mom's ex-boyfriend that was like a wrestler, and the whole thing, and the dad trying to like be all like butched up or whatever. I forget how it went, but something to that. And then trying to figure out if the girl's a fucking robot.
They didn't figure that out.
No.
They never figured it out.
The girl, the neighbor had an annoying face too. She had red hair. She looked ridiculous. It's one of those shows I hated that show, but I watched that shit all the time. So, guys in the chat, if you guys have a show that's a guilty pleasure that you hated to watch, but watch because the way media was back in the day, I'm assuming you may remember, if you wanted to watch TV, you could only watch what was on. It's not like today
Right.
where you can watch anything you want whenever you want to watch it. You got to watch whatever's on. So if it's, I watched a lot of episodes of Golden Girls, Empty Nest, Blossom. Blossom came
Thank
on
you for
before.
being a friend.
Blossom used to come on before fucking Monday Night Raw. So I would watch Fresh Prince, then Blossom at 8:30, and then Raw would come on at 9. It's either that or you're watching Murder, She Wrote, dude. It's like, those are your choices.
That's a hard lead-in.
It's a hard one.
Jessica Fletcher really drives those numbers.
And it's weird, too, because you would go Murder, She Wrote, and then Raw, and then after Raw would be Silk Stockings, which is like softcore porn, almost. You guys ever watch that stuff? Like USA
Silk
Up All
Stockings,
Night? No,
I remember
like
that.
USA Up All Night. Where they would,
Nikita.
Rhonda
What?
Shear.
so Up All Night, they used to take like basically pornos, right? And just edit out all the sex scenes. They used to play it like at 12 o'clock at night on USA. It's ridiculous.
There's still episodes of Raw on Peacock that have the ads in it for Silk Stockings and La Femme Nikita
Nikita, yeah.
Wow.
after Raw.
This one Raw was actually good. I miss those days. I miss Raw when it was an hour long.
Was Raw ever an hour long?
Yeah.
I don't ever remember Raw being an hour long.
93, 94. I don't think they go 2 hours until at least 95.
Oh, I was in college. I don't remember much anything from those years.
Superstars was still the main show because, Raw replaced Primetime Wrestling. But Primetime Wrestling was 2 hours.
There was a gap though. Primetime Wrestling stopped for.
No, they
Wow.
went. I saw the episode like 2 weeks ago. Like next week, debuting Monday Night Raw, and they go from it was Vince and Bobby. They're the hosts at this point. Like Gorilla's gone, and they're doing it's like the talk show setup. It's really fucking weird. Go back and watch it, guys.
Like 92 to 95 is the one period of my life that I really didn't watch a lot of wrestling, and I've always thought, boy, I should really go back and watch all of them now that I've access to all of them. But it's just so fucking horrible that I've never really desired to go back and watch it.
I stopped
Like,
watching WWF in '93.
during that period too.
It gets better. If you got you got it's like '93 WCW is way better than '92 WCW, which is not saying a lot. I'm not saying that it's good, but I definitely had switched. There was a point where I switched from WWF as my number one wrestling promotion to WCW, and I was with WCW all the way up until '99. Like even during the Attitude, I was a WCW guy for sure. If you go back and watch some of those like episodes of Worldwide, like they're all bizarre and weird, and they have negative title changes. That means they have title changes that are negative. Because the guy would like Johnny B. Bad would win the belt and lose the belt before he won it. Because they're taped like 6 months out. It was fucking insane.
How come my microphone keeps speaking?
I hear you. You sound fine on my end.
Yeah, because they used to tape Worldwide. They would tape like 8 episodes in the same sitting, and the other one, the Saturday night one, when they were doing the tapings down at Disney World, they would just bring every time they taped 2 shows, they tape like 10 of them in a day.
Yeah.
And they would take time in blocks of 3 hours.
You know what they used to do too, Jeff? The wrestlers wouldn't come out with their belts, so it wouldn't be timed. So they would have title defenses. There would be no belts on the guys.
I was at one of those tapings, and I remember they taped an interview with Sting like 6 times. Like
really?
Yeah, before it was the way that they wanted it to be. They just kept doing it, and then they gave you the option. They would actually come out on the street and they would hand you a thing saying, "Do you want to be in the audience?" Blah blah blah. And of course, I was like, "Hell yeah!" So you go in, and it's literally like being at a sitcom. Like they were holding up signs saying "cheer," "boo," yell, whatever. And but you would be able to go in and like they would tape 2 shows, and it would take about 3 hours, and then they'd let everybody out. And you could go back in if you wanted to, but they tried to get like fresh audiences.
Yeah, of course.
For every other show, so they would tape them out of order. So like when those episodes showed, like I was on 5 or 6 different, episodes of Worldwide, but it was all that same 2 hours that I was there. Like they just like mismatched the matches up on the shows going on for like 2 months ahead. So, like that's literally studio wrestling. I mean, that's like 1960s studio wrestling.
I mean, WWF used to tape 4 weeks TV, sometimes 3, but mostly 4. Like Superstars, you'll notice if you watch episodes of Superstars back to back, like, oh, this week from Glens Falls Civic Arena, and the next week, this week from Glens Falls Civic Arena. Like there'd be in chunks like that. Actually, it made a better TV show, by the way, the way the WWF. Like, you watch Superstars from 88, 89, 90, going into 91, like, they're really, really... I'm not saying they're good wrestling shows. I said they're well-produced and edited wrestling shows.
Did you ever go to one of those TV tapings as a kid?
No, I was supposed to go to one at Hershey once, but my dad said no.
So, they used to tape those occasionally in Pittsburgh and in Wheeling. Wheeling, West Virginia, Wheeling Civic Center. And you would go to those shows, and they would actually have the banners for Wrestling Challenge, for Superstars, and then they had the ones for Coliseum Video.
Yeah.
And they would change the ring aprons and the big banners and everything depending on what matches they were taping, because like they taped those like one-off special matches for those compilation videos. Yeah. WWF Crush Volume 3, whatever. But it was kind of neat to see that, back in the day. The only real live show back in the day was Saturday Night's Main Event. Even that wasn't live, still taped.
Pay-per-views were live, of course. Like, I'd never recommend, like, don't go to, like, if you're going to go to a wrestling show, like, don't go to a Raw, because it sucks. Just don't go, like, because the way it's formatted, like Luke will tell you, you're going to SmackDown or Raw, like those are rough shows because you're sitting there during the commercial breaks, and then it's not good. Like, it doesn't flow well as a live experience. It's built for TV, so go to house shows. They're better, for sure.
You get better house shows too,
Yeah.
because the wrestlers aren't hamstrung by what they're allowed to do. So you get some really good matches at house shows.
I saw a 5-star Rey Mysterio CM Punk match live. It was
I bet.
5-star. It was 5-star. It was dope. All right, so results time. So I guess I'll start it off with the IWL Independent Wrestling League number 160, league champion, and your new IWA World Heavyweight Champion, Texas Jesse Tombstone. Television champion, Dave the Decision Wazalewski. New York City champion, Friend Zone, Frederick Goodfellow. Los Angeles champion, Sheepdog, Roe Grady. Boston champion, Shotgun, James Carnage. Detroit champion, High of the Night, Johnny Vegas. Cleveland champion, Sam Hain. Dallas champion, the California Gunslinger. Memphis champion, Tony Zippy Dog. Miami champion, Pop Culture, Peter Cross. San Francisco champion, Rod Camino. Chicago champion, Christopher Destruction. League Tag Team Champions winning 5 free matches. Texas, Jesse Tombstone and Shotgun, James Carnage. TV Tag Team Champions, Christopher Destruction and Kenneth Oblivion. League 6-Man Champions, Doug Double Bass, Brocky, Gene the Machine Conrad, and Thad Clayman. TV 6-Man Champions, Texas, Jesse Tombstone, Blackjack Robertson, Shotgun, James Carnage. And your Battle Royal winner winning 56, that's right folks, 56 free IWL matches, the California Gunslinger. So Alex G, what's going down in the IWL? Well, guys, we do have our pay-per-view results, so please read that. It's pretty good, I thought. Good show. In addition to that, we do have the new 4-pack challenge, which includes Devon Snatch, the Regulators, Team International, Matt's favorite team, and World Offensive History.
Yay.
I think the Regulators are going to win. Guys, I will have the bracketing for the King of Pro Wrestling, which is our version of the King of the Ring, this cycle. So you'll see it in this report as well.
There you go.
Yeah, man. So again, with the amount of matches that we had, which is like, to me, it's 127. That's pretty close to all-time high, if not the all-time high at this point. And then obviously the amount of people for our Battle Royal this cycle. I'm very excited about the future of the IWL. Even though no more Luther Alexander in the IWL. So,
shocking.
That's shocking news. The winner, by the way, of the World Title Eliminator match was Neo Dragon. So Neo Dragon will take on Barry King Stevens at the King of Pro Wrestling.
There it is.
King of Pro Wrestling taking place in Madison Square Garden, by the way, folks, in New York City.
The granddaddy of them all.
I love that building.
But the question is, will the gym teacher be there?
Could be.
Coach, gym teacher.
Could be.
So he's there.
The Evil Architect building could be
Have
there
you
also.
in Madison Square Garden?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, like 1,000 times.
Really?
Hmm?
Huh.
I live 45 minutes away from New York City.
I was in there once. I remember it smelled like piss.
No, you
Well,
were
that's New
no.
York.
That's just New York in general. General New York City smell.
I've always said that New York smells like piss. Boston smells like disinfectant to clean up the piss.
Here's the thing about Madison Square Garden, where people, maybe they don't know they're not from New York. It's on top of Penn Station. So Penn Station is our big train station, right? Which is underground. So from Penn Station, you can go into New Jersey. You can get on an Amtrak to go cross country. Obviously, you can get onto all your subways that connect New York City and its various boroughs. Our good friend Mike Drake lives at Penn Station, so
Lives in the Penn Station itself.
he lives in Penn Station.
There it is.
Speaking of Mike Drake, super awesome guy, by the way. Go back and listen to the show I did with Mike Drake. He sent me a present, which I was not expecting, and was shocked. I was shocked. It wasn't poop this time. I've gotten that in the past. Flaming most of the time. But Mike sent me 2 championship belts. One being the my favorite Western States Heritage Championship, which is the most hilarious belt in the face. For those of you who don't remember this, back in I would say 88, probably the end of Jim
88 in that ballpark.
So the end of Jim Crockett Promotions, as Jim Crockett's trying to expand into Texas and Louisiana, and really kind of taking over the Watts territory as well. they created this Western States Heritage Championship to kind of represent that area. And notable champions, Barry Windham and Larry Zbyszko.
And then Larry Zbyszko quit and went to the AWA, and they retired the belt.
They did. Like, they never did anything with it.
That was it. Those were the only champions.
Yeah. Mike also sent me an IWGP belt too, which is dope. So again, very kind. Was not expecting that. I'm not someone who often gets gifts like that, so I never know how to appropriately respond. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. That definitely made my day. I had a rough day that day too, and it just kind of brightened it up. And I went and showed my wife, and I had to show my wife the text messages to make sure, because she probably was going to yell at me for buying belts, which I'm not allowed to purchase. I'm like, no, someone actually sent these to me. I did not purchase these.
Dun, dun, dun.
There's a guy on Facebook who makes really nice custom belts for the Elite action figures.
Yeah.
The Mattel action figures. And I actually, right now, have him making a Western State.
There it is.
Along with a New Japan title and about 5 other ones. But he makes, they're like, kind of like the same ones you get with the, because a lot of times you go on like eBay or something, you buy them, they're made out of paper and cardboard.
Yeah, they're raggedy as hell.
But this guy he actually does them like on a 3D printer and paints them up with the chrome paint. And nice. I mean, they are perfect. $35-$40 a piece. They're well worth it. But it's funny you said Western States Heritage, because I literally, that was one of the belts I wanted, because I have a custom Barry Windham that I had made, like a mid-'80s, babyface Barry Windham figure that I wanted that for.
Alan Henderson says in the chat that he went to an AEW show recently, and it was amazing. I've yet to go to one yet. I do plan on going to one as soon as my wife lets me. I will be there in full support of AEW. Derek Tuttle also mentions that Mike Drake's got a fantastic belt made for the Cage of Honor with side plates for each of the Iron League. So, Drake, I want to see that belt. I want to post a picture of that because that seems cool to me. I definitely want to check that out.
I was talking.
Here's a link. Derek has a link. Please link it. Yeah, I want to see it.
I was talking to Mike about because he was like, "Can you give me Alex's address?" And I was like, "Sure." But we were talking, and I remember Randall Angel made a belt for the BRL, a global belt, and he was having it. I don't know whatever happened to it, but he showed me a picture of the guy, like it was like in mid design. It looked great.
Oh.
But I have the one picture of it. I have it as like part of the BRL like title page. But that would be kind of cool, like have a BRL global belt.
So, guys, I guess I have to ask the question: what are your favorite belts?
Ever? Or just I was always partial to the Steamboat Savage era IC belt.
That's a good one with the red WWF logo on top.
Yeah.
They need to go back to that because the current Intercontinental title is awful. It looks like a toy.
All the belts are trash right now.
Yeah, they are.
I always liked the U.S. Tag Team belts when the Midnights had them.
Yeah.
With the red straps.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only belts that look nice right now in the WWE are the NXT UK belts, and they're closing down that whole thing. So
is it really?
Yeah, they're getting rid of it. They canceled the tapings, and they haven't rescheduled anything.
I saw something about that, and I was like, "Uh-oh, here it comes."
Yeah, they're gonna move. They're gonna move whoever they think can do it. They're gonna move over to the regular NXT brand, and I think a bunch of those guys just want to go back to the British Indies, because the British, like everything over there in like British Indies are on fire right now. Yeah. They can make a ton of money.
Hey, all right.
I think for me, I have to go back to just your Winged Eagle, just to be honest. Mm-hmm. The actual other belt I own that I did end up purchasing was the Hogan green belt.
Oh, so, yeah.
The one that he actually won, the Iron Sheik Bob Backlund belt, which I have. So I thought that belt was cool. But, Big Gold, I think everyone likes that one. It's kind of passe to say. I do like the Luger U.S. Championship.
I was going to say that Dusty Rhodes Luger era.
Yeah, that one's really good. I have a soft spot in my heart for the CWA World title. You guys look that up, by the way, and see how that belt looks like. It looks ridiculous. I do find that hilarious. The last AWA belt is pretty cool.
Yeah.
The UWF belt, which is, if you want to know what the UWF belt looks like, look at the Ring of Honor belt. It's basically the same belt. It just says ROH on instead of UWF. Very similar belt.
UWF title belt was beautiful. The actual, like the one that Dr. Death held.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful championship.
Yeah.
I was always if we're going old school, I always liked when they had the TV title and the U.S. title that were like the same belt, but the TV title was silver and the U.S. title was gold.
It's like the old NWA belt, just different colors.
Yeah, because like if you ever see those promos where you got like Magnum TA with the U.S. title and Arn Andrews with the TV title, and I always loved the Nick Bockwinkel AWA title. To me it's big and heavy. It just looked like a championship belt. But I think all time my favorite title belt ever, and surprisingly it's a WWF belt. I thought the undisputed title was the nicest championship belt WWF ever had.
The one after the Triple H had both belts? That one?
Yeah, when Jericho won both belts and then Triple H had them, and then I think the first guy to wear it might have been Brock Lesnar. And then Undertaker had it.
I think Hogan had it too.
Yeah, that was the nicest belt they ever had. I mean, in newer, like modern times. I mean, I guess everyone loves the Winged Eagle belt because that's the belt we grew up with.
Yeah.
But I saw watching some of those old Coliseum videos on Peacock. I noticed that Hogan had the green belt for his first couple defenses. He had the green belt when he defended against Brutus Beefcake and then one other defense. And then he had a different belt in between that it wasn't the one that we remember him having before the Winged Eagle. There was like two belts between that green one and the Winged Eagle, and I've never been able to find a photo of it.
I think it's the Hogan 86 belt, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's the one that I remember him having. The one he had when he wrestled King Kong Bundy in the cage.
Yeah, I think Derek is right. I think there's four. He had they changed belts quite a bit, so there's like four different belts.
And then I could have swore that one time I saw him come out with a belt that looked like it was one of the tag team belts.
That probably happened.
Like he just forgot the title or something, or it was.
Which happened once. I think when Mr. Perfect won the IC belt, he won a tag title. And then Flair, when they digitized the NWA belt, he used the tag title also. But those tag titles are iconic as well, for sure. Especially the silver Hart Foundation. I guess it would be the '87 Hart Foundation belts.
Yeah, they got to get rid of the penny belts they have now. Those are horrible.
This leads to a question though. Now, has Johnny B ever had a belt? If so, have you ever owned one? Or a side kind of like offshoot question: do people give him wrestling related gifts knowing that what he does for work?
I don't think people think this is his job.
No?
No.
Secret?
I think it's kayfabe, brother. And then he does his exotic dancing, and that's what he claims. Chippendales. I feel like Johnny B, as a child, probably made his own belts.
Was there a belt among the family, the kids wrestled, champion of the house? Scott and I, when we lived together, we had a belt. We used to go back and forth and attack each other.
I had a weight belt that I magic markered up that I found in the woods, and I made that to my chest. And then I had the foam ones as a kid, so I had the IC and the tag titles.
Nice.
I remember the Hogan with the face on it. They sold that as a toy also.
The what now?
There's a Hogan championship with his face on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we could do a whole show on just Hogan belts because they swapped them out quite a bit.
Man, now that I'm looking at those U.S. title belts were nice.
Yeah.
Those were some really nice looking belts, and there were some really good matches over those belts, like Midnight Express versus Fantastics.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great matches.
I want to ask Mike Drake, what does he use for his stands to appropriately display these things? Because I'm looking for some sort of acrylic stand to get these on a shelf. So I'm sure he has some sort of a connection with stands of some sort. You know the right ones to get, because I don't. The ones I'm looking online, they look like they're too small and they're gonna fall.
Use the one they used at the AEW Media Scrum. They had like a little one that kept
You know,
put the
the
belts on.
WWE is selling like belt display cases now. Like there's like there's like a circle of foam, and then there's a case that you can put the belts in. But it has a big fucking stupid WWE logo on it. Ridiculous. I remember when belts got big. We had this kid in my high school. The first time I seen a belt, like it's the first time you see this type of kid, right? So the year is like 1998, right, or 99, around that area, right?
Mm-hmm.
The big kid, kind of heavy set, black trench coat, right? Because trench coats were big at that time. Big fucking trench coat. He's walking around with Foley's book, big gold on the other shoulder, in school, by the way. He's walking around school like this.
No.
You know, in my day, you had to kayfabe that because you're trying to get girls, right? You kayfabe that big time. Ain't no way I'm walking around with a belt.
Well, maybe the belt was for getting chicks.
No, it wasn't. That's this kid. It wasn't. That's for goddamn sure. And I'm pretty sure he had an Austin 316 shirt underneath that trench coat too.
Maybe he had a girlfriend in Canada. You know,
Probably summer camp or some shit.
she's in New Hampshire.
I saw that kid on the train for WrestleMania 22 and I ignored him. As I'm coming home from WrestleMania 20 with my my commemorative folding chair I got for being ringside. Ridiculous. I'm going down fucking Penn Station with this fucking chair. It's ridiculous. Awful. But yeah, like I do see the guys over like when I go to shows with the belts, it's like those belts are not cheap, guys. Like you're kind of just they're getting scratched up and beat up when you're taking them to shows. I don't understand why. Like it's different if you go into a convention or you go into an autograph signing or something like that. You get them autographed or whatever. And if you go, guys, I've been seeing a lot of these online too. If you're gonna bring belts to get autographed, you may want to have the guy like maybe held the belt, perhaps. Like, there's no reason that Sting should be signing IC belts out there, guys. Like, come on, get it together.
What's wrong with that?
You have Sting sign an IC belt? Are you serious?
Maybe Sting would have won it. You don't know.
He probably would have won it if he went to WWF in '87, like he was supposed to. For fuck's sake.
Sting, would it be like the ultimate insult to go to a wrestler and be like, "Hey, can you sign this belt for me?" And look down at the 24/7 belts.
Or it's the Western State Heritage Championship belt.
Which I heard they put that belt down, by the way.
Oh, good. Good for them.
Yay.
Yeah, so you're having Flair sign the new WWE Championship or whatever. That's weird. But get a big gold for the man to sign. Fuck.
Darren stepped in here and said no Canadian teenager ever said they had a girlfriend in the U.S. Well, I'd hope not. In this area.
Okay, well, I guess the question for Darren is like, where did the fictitious girlfriends of your 13-year-old friends reside?
They were always in either New Hampshire or Canada, so that was the way it worked for us: Canada or New Hampshire. And then, of course, one time I remember a friend of mine, his girlfriend came down from New Hampshire, and she was real. And we were like, "Holy shit!" That was a train wreck.
Newfoundland.
Nice.
I think I might actually buy myself a U.S. tag team title belt.
There you go.
Who do you guys buy these belts off of?
Darren said that they had real girlfriends. Yeah, right. Canadian girls are easy, from what I understand.
Oh,
That's what they tell me. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's true.
Darren, our Canadian expert. So
They smell like poutine.
Oh boy.
Jeff, Derek says he has a hookup to get belts for like between $100 and $200, or $150 and $200.
There you go.
I'll have to talk. I think I might actually get one to take to shows with me because
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
I have the Globe belt that like WWE sold in the toy section, not like the toy the kids one, adult, nice replica one they had. And I've taken that to a couple of shows just because I think I got it on clearance when Toys R Us was going out of business for like $49. But if I $300 on a title, I don't think I'm taking it to an arena with me.
You gotta go with no shirt on though. That's the rule. Yeah. That's the rule. If you're gonna go to a show, you gotta cosplay them. Full gear, brother. You have the trunks on, perhaps Macho Man trunks of some sort. Boots, the whole nine. That's personal opinion.
Okay.
Personal opinion. Ridiculous. Well, this show went completely off the rails.
Sure did.
That's the way I like it.
Mm-mm.
What do you say we do some NWL results?
No one cares about that. There's no one in the NWL in the chat right now. I dig that. Next up, NWL.
All right. New Wave League.
You guys changed that logo, by the way.
What's up?
I think you need a new NWL logo. Matt made that logo like 12 years ago.
We're actually working on the new official NWL word mark. So
okay,
there you go.
New branding is coming soon.
He might get a visitor this cycle. Just saying.
New Wave League number 187. It's the murder edition 187.
Oh.
League champion, a complete scumbag, Caesar Sterling, his second league championship, also taking his second rookie brawl this cycle. TV champion, the ever-rising Dark Danger, who has turned into one of probably the top 5 wrestlers currently in the NWL. Central Plains champion is Tormund Erickson. East Coast champion is Angel of Light Angelina Blanco, who needs to get her ass over to the BWL.
Yes.
Great champion is Shackles Malone, who is now part of that very odd Dishonor Revolt faction, where we'll get into that in the TT edition of the Tubecast. But we had probably the biggest swerve that I've seen in my return to the IWA this cycle in the NWL, with Mark Justice taking the blue pill and becoming a heel. Mid-Atlantic champion, we have Lionheart Lachlan Kincaid representing the original Honor Revolt. Northeast champion, Chainsaw Chuck, who I believe is in his second cycle, Chainsaw Chuck. Pacific Northwest champion, Father Conrad of My Two Dads. Rocky Mountains is the Eldritch Beast, Dagon. Or Dagon. Southeast champion, once again holding on to some gold for his, 75th cycle in a row. No Limits, Nick Dane. Southwest champion is Zanroar. And West Coast champion is Skullgrim Redbeard. Tag team champions, we've got Honor Revolt once again locking down the tag team championships, Lachlan Kincaid and Nick Dane. TV tag team champions is Cell Block Charlie and Shackles Malone of Death Row. League six-man champions, Honor Revolt takes that as well, Lachlan Kincaid, Nick Dane, and Wolf Keenan. TV six-man champions, we've got Mark Justice, who is now the leader of this heel group, with his new Cell Block Charlie and Shackles Malone in the TV six-man titles home. And the Battle Royal winner this cycle was Father Conrad. As for news, we had a Futurescape card, but unfortunately I do not have the results for that yet because we are still debating. We've had some input from NWL owners who are either going away for a while and not going to be involved, or had something else going on. So we need to kind of figure out exactly what we're doing. But we'll get those results out in the NWL chat within the next few days here for TT purposes.
Okay.
We have the new challenge going on, which is the Free Quebec 6-man tag team challenge. Check out all of the rules in the bulletin. And let's see what else is going on. I think that's about it for the NWL as far as what's going on results-wise. But we had another fairly active cycle, 60-page report. We had a ton of entrants in the Battle Royal. But if you are in the NWL and you are listening to this Tubecast, and you are not in contact with the NWL commissioner or the email or in the chat or whatever, try to hook in and get a hold of us. Email the NWL commissioner at the email address in the bulletin. Let us know what your plans are. Let us know, what you'd like to see happen, the plans for your wrestler, which way you'd like to go. Any input we can get helps us with making our decisions creatively moving forward. And if you're pumped up about being at NWL, we want you to be pumped up and we want you to have fun. So get a hold of us, let us know, and we'll make that happen. That's it.
Yeah, man. I dig that. So, Matt, what do you want to do? You want to do Black Widow League?
Sure.
No, you don't.
Let me bang that out. All right,
Gross.
so first the results for the champions. So Black Widow champion, Riley Reynolds, who hit at 501, and that's right, Riley Reynolds went on to win the IWA Women's Championship. And we had a 500 from our TV champion, Shiloh Wallace, who then went on to win the IWA U.S. Women's Championship. So, kaboom, boom. Now, there was a rule recently put in place that if a women's league won the championship 2 times in a row, they got 10 free matches. So I've got to confirm with IWA, but I'm pretty sure we just had that happen for us. Our Battle Royal winner was Huntress, Japan Idol champion, Queen of the Ring, Gina Colada, Joshi champion, Arya Gunpowder, Zenjo champion, Huntress, Luchadores champion, Big Money, Bonnie Banks, Cholitas champion, Tiamat, Bellatrix champion, Starfall Tigress, Themyscira, I should have never named his name, Themyscira, the Wonder Woman Homeland Championship, Kilkija Chaos, and I'm pulling an Alex here, Hollywood champion, Zoe Pecadora, Sin City champion, Vicky Venom, which is currently underwater. Sorry, folks in Vegas. And our Willowick champion, Betty Then You. So Mike was going to try to be here for the show, but he couldn't make it tonight. But Mike will be tuning in for a future show, my co-commissioner in the BWL. But we had a big pay-per-view called Where the Boys Aren't. And here are the results. So the first match was a qualifying match to play in. Now, we have the title called the Women's Triple Threat Match Champion. And the idea was we'd have certain matches to qualify to play in the final. So you have like 3 different singles matches. And the winners of each of those then go to the triple threat match. Well, one of the women left the game. So we had to do a little workaround. So Cinderella Frankenstein and Spitfire Jeannie Briggs battled to a 492-492 draw. So because Betty Then You then claimed she wanted to go advance to the finals, we said, nope, you can face both of them. So she got added to the match, and Betty Then You defeated both of them to advance. Arya Gunpowder beat Rachel Van Dorn 498-495 to advance to the final triple threat match. And Huntress, with 497, beat Zoe Pecadora with a 495. The tag team match was Zuckaroo, Zebop, and Beulah Booger versus Starfall Tigress and Vicky Venom, and Tigress and Venom won because Beulah must have doubled the hold. I can only guess that's what happened. Let's see, Meat Train lost to Addison Killswitch in a Pinfalls Anywhere match. We had Tiamat defeating Rain Grady 498-495. In a street fight match, we had a loser battles match. It was Gina Colada beating Penny Punk 498-492. The global title match was Betty Red defending against Shiloh Wallace, and Shiloh won 500-495. And in our main event, the IWAR Women's Championship, it was Riley Reynolds 501 defeating Veruca Salt to become the new champion. And then in the triple threat match, I forgot to mention this, it was Arya Gunpowder's 498 beating Huntress, with a 497 and Betty with a 495. So Aria Gunpowder is the triple threat champion. And what will happen is at the next pay-per-view, there'll be 2 qualifiers to play in to get into that title match against Aria. So that is that. And I would just like to add that, let me double check, I believe. Yes. Betty Than You won the women's championship last time. So this time it'll be Riley Reynolds. And then U.S. champion will be Shiloh Wallace. So well done. Good to see some great representation by the BWL in the IWA report. Alex, do you possibly dig that?
No, I do not dig that.
Oh, you son of a! How dare you?
Hey, you know what I dig? I dig the fact that the IWAR is just kicking ass all over the IWA report over the last 5 cycles.
Has been a pretty good report for us. Yes.
Matt, do you want to go over the report? Our report hits?
You want to do the BRL first, or?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay. So BRL 588, league champion Timberwolf, TV champion Hot Stuff Adam Cash, who had a 501 and also captured the IWA US Championship. Hooray me. Central Plains champion Total Package US Male, who also got an IWA Regional out of that. Yay me. East Coast champion Decapitator, Great Lakes champion Zydrate, Mid-Atlantic champion Fenris, Northeast champion The Playboy Mick Ferrari, Pacific Northwest champion the Mad Hooligan Jax McAllister, and props to him, he has gone the whole year without a belt, and he's been like one of those guys who would have like, you know, he'd have like all these really high scores, and he'd be up there and be the one that would get edged out. So congrats to Jax. Rocky Mountain champion Tombstone, Southeast champion Jim the Anchor Neatheart, Southwest champion Matthew Van Slaughter, West Coast champion Who the Heck is Mike Cook, Tag champions Timberwolf and Fenris, TV tag champions Tombstone and Decapitator. Just note, both teams did 5/16s, so well done. Every so often, this is one of my favorite moments in IWA. I'm pretty bad at 6-man wrestling. I just never seem to get it down. I've never won the world championship. But to win the league 6-man in the BRL with so many good trios players, so you know that Darren took the cycle off because Hossef Adam Cash, Seth Adamsley, and Wisp won the 6-man belts with a 518, completely blind, no flow or nothing. I don't know, just lucked out. So that's my one of my all-time favorite kind of way, like when you win naturally. It's like there's no connection. TV tag champions, Suburban Hill Savages, Agent 26, Punk Rock Mike, and Money Driven Mike Sebastian. And our Battle Royal winner taking home $50 in IWA credit, Fenris. So well done, folks, in the BRL. Just a reminder, next cycle is the cycle where the matches count towards the pay-per-view. So you want to really nail your scores this time so you get the write-up win if you can. So, all right, shifting to IWA wide. Quick note, just an NWL note. Nick Dane is now the second-ranked all-time NWL wrestler.
Get out of here.
If he can get 40, I think it's 40 or 50 points, he will become 50 points. He'll become the all-time highest scoring wrestler. So
who's the current all-time person?
I'm pulling for him to win the league championship because he'd be the first ever 4-time NWL champion.
Oof.
So no pressure.
Yeah. But wait, how much time does he have left? I don't think
he has 2 or 3 cycles. It's not much. It's close.
I don't even think he has that much. I'm gonna look it up right now.
I think it's September because he told me once, and I want to say it was September, but it's real close.
Yeah, I think he has 2 more full cycles. This coming one and the one after that.
That sounds right.
With the role he's been on, it wouldn't shock me if next cycle he becomes the IWA World Champion or something. So
it's there for the taking. In IWA report, it was the 2022 State Wrestling Championships. I'll just read over the winners from our leagues. So we had Angel of Light Angelina Blanco. We had Big Money Bonnie Banks. We had we didn't have him, but Yepers McGee. I just enjoy the name. Let's see, the Eraser from the IWL.
Oh.
He took home. Oh, sorry, I mentioned the titles. He was Georgia Championship, appropriately. Yeah. Punk Rock Mike took home the Indiana Championship. He also took the Iowa Championship. Yepers McGee struck again. Let me see here. Eraser took the Maryland championship. We had an NWL wrestler, Tormund Erickson, took the Massachusetts championship. He's also from Massachusetts, so if you're in the neighborhood, say hi. The Chameleon took the Minnesota championship.
There it is.
Mick Ferrari took the Mississippi championship. The Chameleon took the Missouri championship. Rod Camino took the Montana championship. Machine took the Nevada championship out of the NWL. Big Guns Greg Gannar, a big mark for him, North Dakota championship. Agent 26 took the Ohio championship. Let me see here. Mick Ferrari took the Tennessee championship. Oregon championship went to the Chameleon. Your everyday hero, Oliver Livingston, took the South Carolina championship. The Monster of Mayhem, Donnie Bloodstone, took the South Dakota championship. I think that's. And Dark Danger in the NWL took the Wyoming championship. So that was the report stuff. Let's see here. Okay, so some of the events going on around the IWAR. Let's see here. Okay. So let's see here. Results, we talked about that. The Lethal Lottery final came down to Hawaiian Heartthrob and Lone Star Redneck against Who the Heck is My Cook and the California Gunslinger. And it was Gunslinger and Cook taking home the title. So what they will do is they will now go and face the tag champs, the Grace brothers, Amazing Graces, next cycle in a strategy match, which is based on the way they won the tag title of the tournament. So it's like combined two-team strat. So it's a really tricky thing, but we do it once a year as a little like fun thing. So that will be a challenge. Let's see. Steve Vertigo won the fourth match in the best of 7 series against Luther Alexander. Let's see. We still have signups for the Bound for Glory Tag Team Derby and Triple D Cup tournaments, and the deadline to join is next Tuesday, or actually I should say next Sunday, because it's coming up. Like, so if you want in, don't wait, get in. So we did that. So the Summer Series 5 final came down. Now, we had a lot of questions about this because the scoring was crazy. So to go over the results for that, Summer Series 5. Now, this one, I'll pull it up here. Okay, so our top 8 scores, because Drago Tanaka was inactive. So the 8th place was Flashy Jack Ferdinand with a 490.5. He doubled the hold. Or actually, he didn't double the hold. He went to put a 26 value hold in a spot, but he used number 26. So he got the 26, whatever the hold was worth this cycle. So that's a terrible thing that happened. Sorry, Flashy Jack. Probably looking at a 5-1 if you didn't do that. So that sucks. Father Arturo Bartolo came in 7th. He had a 495 average. Punk Rock Mike with a 495.2 came in 6th. Dark Danger with a 496.5 came in 5th. Country Hammer Rick Grady came in 4th with a 496.5. 3rd was Lone Star Redneck with a 496.75. And Steve Vertigo with a 496.75 came in 2nd. He had the tiebreaker to come in 2nd. And 1st overall, No Limits Nick Dane, who had a 497.5 to win. And the way it broke down was Nick had a 492, so a pretty crummy first run. But then he had a 500, 500, 498. So really rallied to win this one. And payout-wise, it went $110 IWA credit to Nick Dane, $30 IWA credit to Steve Vertigo, and $15 in credit to Lone Star Redneck. So pretty cool. It's one of our toughest events we run is the Summer Series. So it's really, you have to be hot for 4 cycles. But as Nick showed here, you could have, a crummy first cycle. Actually, Steve Vertigo had a 490 the first cycle. So, it's a little bit higher, but thank you all who played. We had 31 entries. So it was a pretty good turnout. So we'll do it again next summer. But again, the Bound for Glory Tag Team Derby and Triple D Cup tournaments are going to be full soon, so get a hold of me for that. I think we've got all of it covered. Oh, and the IWAR draft. If you want in the IWAR draft, you got to get a hold of me ASAP. So
ASAP,
as the kids say.
I don't know any kids that say it that way.
Well, somewhere. How dare you?
Well, I dig that. What's going on in the chat, guys? Anything going on interesting in the chat?
They say it's going to be the worst cycle for gold. I can see that. Is this a cycle for the 27s finally drop?
14 is due.
14 is due.
Is the BWL in the draft?
No, we talked about this, but unfortunately, because the BRL and IWL don't have women wrestlers anymore, we funnel them all to the BWL. It would just be a wasted time of like, oh, I draft a woman wrestler, and that's up. So no, sorry.
Now, I guess if we wanted to do that, we could do it, but just for newly created women wrestlers.
Well, even then, they'd only be going to the BWL, so.
Yeah, it still wouldn't make sense. Never mind.
I tell people all the time, like, if you want to create a new wrestler, that's cool. Just let me know. But we're putting that preview issue together pretty soon, so.
Matt, can I ask you a question? Has there ever been a fake Von Schnapp like Lance Von Erich?
Kind of. There was someone who made a Von Schnapp. What the hell was it? Well, when we created them, we had about 9 altogether. And Victor was the last one left. But there was Charles Von Schnapp, there was Frederick, and Wolfgang. They were run by other players that still had them for quite a few years, like in the mid-2000s, before they retired them. But I don't think there's never been a Lance per se. There was Otto Von Schnapp for a short time, who was like the German powerhouse. But yeah, he just kind of went away.
Well, that's fair.
So you could have trades. Well, I know we could sit there and say, "I'll draft a women wrestler to the BRL and trade her to the BWL." That'd just be extending the pain. So.
Have we ever considered opening a little person's league?
They did that. They had that happen a long time. Yeah.
Was it the Casting Couch League?
No, it was something.
Because I seen a move like that like the other day.
What the hell was it called? Because I remember it was around like this is back like the 80s, maybe early 90s. Whatever happened to that list of league names you were getting?
I have it.
I have it.
I have it.
Oh my god!
Do you want me to read them all off?
No, we can save it for another time. I want to peruse the list, see if any names I recognize that are like outstandingly terrible. So. Alex has to join the BWL. Well,
No.
I did see a Stacy Keibler action figure today when I was at the store.
Did you?
Yep. And they had like the Hulk Hogan one had 3 faces on it, and then the one above it was Stacy Keibler, and she had like 2 faces, one with a short haircut and one with a long haircut.
I thought she would have like 8 different pairs of legs.
You'd think, but nope.
You saw the Hulk Hogan ultimate figure.
Yeah.
If you happen to run across another one of those, grab it, and I'll buy.
That actual action figure?
Yeah, because I can't find one. I've been looking all over around here.
The one I sent a picture of?
Yeah, it's the classic Hulk, right? Red yellow. Yeah, I can't find that anywhere around here.
Oh, okay.
All right. I dig that.
All right, another one in the record books, as they say.
Another one in yeah. See you in 9 weeks for the next one. Nah, just kidding, guys. I do apologize. I feel it's all my fault.
It is.
It is.
I agree.
But
We'll have to rip the TT one out later this week, right? I mean,
yeah.
This is we got 1 week. We're 1 week warning, right?
Yeah, that's right. Turn around.
Possibly for Wednesday, Tuesday night. Possibly Sunday night.
Yeah, we'll get it done eventually.
Tomorrow night. I mean, where's Luke? Because I ain't doing this IWLTT recap.
On and off on Luke.
That's his job.
It is.
He gets paid no money to do that.
That's right.
He gets paid with loyalty and respect. It's worth its weight in gold, by the way.
That's...
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Matt, we debuting the next year BRL logos this cycle?
For the events?
Yeah.
I wasn't planning to, but we could. But we're still going through the ones this year. But
oh yeah, I guess that's right. We still have 2 left.
yeah, actually, I meant to ask about all the IWAR events. Gonna do those too, as far as throwing new numbers on them.
Yep, I'm already on it.
Nice. What was the other thing I was asking about? I'm trying to think. There's so many random things. This has been a rough few weeks. So, but I think that's our show. Anything else you can think of?
No, I think that's it. I'm tired. I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm
my God, I'll go to bed.
I just want to take my pants off, dude.
Oh, okay, we'll do that first.
I don't like wearing pants. Period. As a general specific rule, I don't like wearing pants. Shorts are fine. Battle skirt of some
Daisy
sort,
Dukes.
I would do. Daisy Dukes, I would find. I was thinking about getting what do they call a romper of some sort, like romper short. I want to bring that back as a concept. So it's like overalls, but with shorts.
There you go.
With no shirt underneath it, with some gold chains. I think I would actually, as just a general style, to just wear those. Long socks, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. No. Perhaps Converse is on. Chuck Taylors, some sort. Yeah, I think I would do that. Casio watch. You ever had a calculator watch?
I do remember that. Yeah. I think I probably had one at some point. I think all kids had to have them at some point in the 80s.
Yeah, I think
or 90s.
Their parents like,
there you go.
To be helpful with school or something. I had a Tiger Electronic watch that had I want to say it was Street Fighter on it, or maybe Double Dragon.
Well, you can't expect to have a calculator over there all the time. Thanks, math teachers. You were all wrong.
You're not always going to have a calculator in your pocket.
That's right.
Not for nothing. My biggest regret, and I will get back to it at some point when we start doing video game reviews, is that I found a way to almost, I haven't gotten it 100% perfected yet, to emulate Tiger Electronic games to do YouTube videos. And I haven't seen anyone do that yet. Without actually taking your phone and taking a video of it, actually emulating it on the screen.
Okay.
That's one thing, because I want to do the wrestling fucking bullshit ones. For sure. I could do Game Boy. I could do Game Gear. I can do a bunch of handhelds now.
Yeah.
So when we ever get back to doing those again, and if you guys haven't watched the other ones, please go watch them because they're awesome. Go back and watch all our videos. And use the goddamn super chat. Make sure you use the Amazon link. Or just give me money. You can do that with there's a dollar sign thing there that you can hit. You can give me $1. What's $1 to you? You don't have $1? What are you, broke? Come on now.
There you go.
That's how you. You don't make me. I'll do an OnlyFans if you guys want.
Hey, if you donate $1 today, you just think. I mean, that dollar right now is only worth about 30 cents compared to what it was worth 2 years ago.
It's true. Don't about 30 cents. You can feed a starving kid in Africa for fucking 6 weeks with that. Remember those commercials from back in the day? Sally Struthers and shit?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Sally Struthers? Did she get fat?
She's dead, right?
Is she?
I don't know.
So, Jeff, can you find out if Sally Struthers is dead?
Sally Struthers. Wait, Sally Struthers, isn't she the one that... Oh, no, that's Suzanne Summers.
That's the Thigh Master. I watched a lot of those as a kid.
She was Thigh Master.
Sally Struthers is still alive. She's 75 years old. Yes, she is fat. And she's retired. She's a retired American actress. She played Gloria. Yeah. Gloria on Archie Bunker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that her only notable acting gig?
No, she was in a whole bunch of stuff. She evidently was supposed to be on that Yellowstone show, but ended up not being on it for some reason.
Because of crap.
She was on Gilmore Girls, and she did a lot of voice stuff. She was actually the voice. Remember the live action show, the dinosaur show?
Yeah. Not the mama. I hate that fucking show.
Yeah, she was the voice of the mother on that.
Was she?
Yeah, and she was also she also did a bunch of voices on Tailspin. If you remember that from the 90s.
So the dinosaur TV show had the darkest fucking series finale of all time. They died.
Yes.
Like the fucking meteor came and killed them.
I remember that show being on like when I was a kid, but
yeah, the last episode they all died.
Man, she was in a ton of stuff, man. Sally Struthers. She was in like a ton of movies and TV shows and stuff, but she hasn't done anything in about 6-7 years.
Okay.
Just in case anybody was curious, Suzanne Summers is she was born in 1946, which means she's 75 years old. And I can tell you right now, yeah, I still I definitely would still not say no to her. So it's good for a 75-year-old woman.
Yeah, I saw Linda Carter the other day on Twitter. Forget it.
She's a Cylon, man. She don't age.
No.
Jesus.
Fucking.
Yeah, but Suzanne Summers is she is also retired, but she does a lot of philanthropy. Like she does a lot of like fundraising.
I think you were gonna say philandering. I was like, yes, yes.
All right.
So like she raised a bunch of money for the Sandy Hook, like the families.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, like she did a whole bunch of stuff. So she's kind of retired, but she's doing a bunch of good stuff now.
Suzanne Summers. I think I've mentioned on this show my love for the show Three's Company and how when you watch it back as an adult, you understand it because you miss all the jokes when you're a kid.
Well, yeah.
I watched that, and that show is racy as hell. As hell.
You know what other show was like that? What was the show with the janitor Schneider on it? Remember that show?
Give Me a Break?
Give Me a Break.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Give Me a Break, yeah. No. Give Me a Break was Nell Carter.
No, that's right.
Alice? It wasn't Alice.
No.
It's that same genre, though. That same, like, 70s.
One left. One
One at a time?
One at a time?
One day at a time.
One day at a time?
One day at a time. So that's on, I don't know, like one of those late night, like Nick at Night or some shit like that. I just happened to wake up one night and was flipping around and I saw it and I remembered it from like being a kid and watching it. And that's another show that if you watch it now, you don't like that show would not make it on TV today. Like, neither would the Jeffersons for that matter.
Yeah.
But One Day at a Time is like the most racist TV show I've ever seen in my life.
A lot of shows, like a lot of stuff you watch is like especially the cartoons. What was I watching today? Something. Oh, it was on out here we have our like the antenna channels. So there's a bunch of networks that are like Charge, and it's all action movies, and like sci-fi is like space or the grits, the westerns, and they were showing either 16 Candles or Better Off Dead, and they ran a thing before being like, hey, just so you know, this movie came out at a certain time when things were acceptable, and I was like, I respect that because you're keeping it legit. You're not like bleeping it out. You're being honest to what it was. I want to say it was 16 Candles because that movie's loaded with things.
Oh, it was bad with the Asian dude in it.
Oh yeah, Long Duck Dong.
Yeah.
Side note: one of my favorite memories from working with one of my old managers. We were talking about movies, and he starts breaking out a Long Duck Dong impersonation.
Oh no!
We're in the bridge, so the bridge is our office, right? So it's like at the end of the registers, and he's doing this, and we look over, and wouldn't you know it, there's a family of Long Duck Dong type descent at the register, and he just like it was like his knees went out and he just dropped down and hit. He's like, "Are they gone? Are they gone?" It's like, oh.
Prior to like 10 years ago, any TV show, literally any TV show, TV, sitcoms, cartoons, anything. Anytime an Asian character came on, you got the gong and then
yeah.
Like it's just so blatantly horrible when you go back to that kind of stuff today.
That was all throughout not Better Off Dead. 16 Candles. Better Off Dead had the thing with the two. I don't know. It was an Asian thing, but it was the two brothers in Better Off Dead that learned English by watching Howard Cosell. So they're just doing a Howard Cosell impersonation, which might be worth. I don't know. But that's one I grew up on as well. There was one called One Crazy Summer.
Yes.
A lesser known, but still a fun watch. And it was Bobcat Goldthwait played like the cousin or brother of one of the main characters, and infamously had a scene where he's in a Godzilla suit, and he ends up running and getting fire in his suit, and he's freaking out, and he runs across a big model of like a set. It was just like terrible, but
I remember that movie now.
Yeah, it was a really random, like it was the same guy that did Better Off Dead, I'm pretty sure.
Oh man.
Random, yeah. So
I love watching 80s.
All of your favorite 80s shows and 70s sitcoms.
I like watching 80s schlock. Like bad 80s movies are better than, I guess, 2022 good movies. Like they're just terrible.
Do you remember all of the ones that were like I say this because my girlfriend's place, she gets antenna TV, so we watch these terrible shows, but they're fun. So one was like the Ray Bradbury Theater.
Oh yeah.
There was one. It was a similar one, but it wasn't called that. It was something else. But like we looked up, the first episode was directed by Steven Spielberg. We were like, what? It was when he first started out, and they had a bunch of episodes. And one of the women in the episode, the reason I looked it up, I forget her name. It was Karen something was her name, or Kathy something. But like she looked like doppelganger for that comedian Sarah Silverman, like just identical, like completely identical. I was like, is this a put on? And I don't know if she's related to her or not, like as her mother or something like that. But DC Cab's the best movie ever. I don't know about that, but Mr. T's in it, right?
Yes. Everybody who was anybody in the 80s, if you were a celebrity in the 80s, you were on at least one episode of the Ray Bradbury Theater.
Oh, Love Boat.
Love Boat. Oh, that was a fun one too.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I like watching.
I can just think. Jeff Goldblum was on Ray Bradbury. Michael Ironside. Leslie Nielsen was on a few of them. Shelley Duvall. I mean, everybody that was anybody. That was like a huge show for a few years.
I can hold my breath for a long time. Actually, that's Creep Show. That's not Ray Bradbury, but still a good one.
I like watching one season, like the shows that only made it one season in the 80s, because imagine how bad those shows are. Like there's one show where like this chick is like a witch, but then she has to babysit a bunch of kids, and it's like a babysitter. That show was weird.
Do you remember the show? I forget the name of it.
The Torkelsons. I remember that fucking show too.
Which one?
The Torkelsons.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I remember
exactly
a
my
show.
point.
I'm going to ballpark it mid 80s, early 80s most likely, but it was a superhero show, and like one guy could make electricity out of his hands, and it was like they were all like weird people. They weren't like a superhero team, but they were kind of like a team of work together. It was only around for like one season, but I remember that show vividly, and I never remember the name of it. It's like, oh, what the hell was that called?
Do you know there was an Animal House sitcom that had Michelle Pfeiffer in it? Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, and it had a lot of the original actors from Animal House in it. It ran for one season. I don't think it made it. I think it made like 4 episodes.
Oof.
Yeah. Those were rough ones.
Remember Small Wonder?
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
Small Wonder.
He fucked that robot. 100%.
Vicky.
Yeah.
Was an acronym.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that until I was just thinking about what shows when I was a kid. Because I remember I always stayed with my grandma like one night a week, and she would always watch the Golden Girls.
Yeah.
And whatever show came on after that, the guy that had the big dog.
Empty Nest is that show you're referring to.
Yeah, with the big dog. And
remember the shows like there was Falcon Crest, there was Fantasy Island, there was Love Boat.
Perfect
But yeah,
Strangers.
those shows, the Murder She Wrote. Although I always say there's a fantastic meme of like, you think you suffered as a kid? I had to watch through this, and it's Lawrence Welk show, which was brutal. Oof.
Hogan's Family. That was some shit.
Oh, my wife is a huge Mama's Family fan. I have all of them, like the whole box set of Mama's Family for her. That show's actually pretty funny.
It is. I used to watch it when I used to be homesick because it would like show like at like 11:30 on like TBS or some shit. And watch like 4 episodes of Mama's Family, and then after that would be soap.
Oh boy.
To tie this into the IWA a little bit, there is just a teeny little bit of Mama from Mama's Family in my Aunt Betsy character.
Nice.
Well, boys, I'm going to call it.
Yeah, me too. So I should probably end this.
All right, put a bullet in it.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Benny Hill.